Welcome to Jamie TV, thank you for tuning in. Steinberg have just dropped an update for Cubasis 3, taking us to Cubasis 3.6. There are some bug fixes, very little in the way of increased functionality, but there are now 4 new downloads available in the Cubasis shop. So in this video, I'm going to give you an overview of what's included in those 4 downloads. One of them is free, that's LoFi Piano, but the other 3 are to pay for. So I'm going to try and give you an idea of whether it's going to be worth it to you to spend your paper round money on these downloads. At the end of the video, I will share my thoughts on this update. LoFi Piano is a beautiful sounding instrument. An upright piano recorded with carefully selected vintage equipment and recorded to tape. It has that warm old school sound that so many recordings would benefit from. There's a great selection of 20 different reverbs included. What I like about them is that these are not insane, over-the-top creative reverbs. These are very usable, real-world sounds. And there are 5 more parameters we can pissy-pants around with. We can introduce tape flutter, filtering, we can use reduce to achieve a bit crushed sound, tube saturation, which is really nice, and we can introduce some compression, which works really well with the saturation. There are a lot of really charming presets too, but as LoFi Piano comes free with the Cubasis 3.6 update, I'm not going to linger any longer. You can download it from the Cubasis shop for yourself and have a pissy pants about. My favourite of the in-app purchases available with Cubasis 3.6 is FM Classics. The synthesizer that shaped much of popular music in the 80s was the DX7, and I'm sure you've noticed the 80s are back with a vengeance. FM Classics features over 250 faithful sounds from the DX7 and its right mount counterpart, the TX81Z, divided up into 8 different banks representing ROM cards, each containing 32 sounds, which was the capacity for a DX ROM. The sounds have tweakable parameters in this interface, which does look very DX-like. Every sound starts with 0 reverb, although there is a built-in reverb. In my feedback to Steinberg, I did say that as each sound begins with no reverb, this doesn't show each sound in its absolute best light from a start-off point. Steinberg say this is by design, because they want the sounds to be faithful to the 80s classic, which had no effects. But also included is a chorus and a delay. Switching over to the global parameter bank, we have controls over tuning, pitch bend and polyphony. And a nice touch, we can also switch the instrument to mono. I found these sounds an absolute delight to work with, and I could pissy pants around with these gorgeous sounds all day. The 80s flavour continues with the Neo FM in-app purchase. Neo FM is based on Steinberg's FM Lab instrument made by the Halion team. It features over 300 presets, divided up by instrument type. Each sound has 8 parameters to pissy-pants around with, but in this instrument, those parameters change with each preset to give you appropriate tweakability for your chosen sound. Just like in FM Classics, if you press Global Edit, you can access the controls for pitch, pitch bend and polyphony. A really nice touch here is the included percussion and drum sounds, including some tweakable loops. There are also some spectacular finds to be made in the FX section. Playing Neo FM is a very enjoyable journey through fat, bold, 80s infused, beautifully crafted sounds. With sounds like this, the music practically writes itself. And finally, last but just as stunning an addition as the DX7 sounds and the smorgasbord of FM delights that is Neo FM, in a very bold and promising move, Steinberg have given us an in-app purchase that makes over 1100 world-class Halion sounds available to the mobile musician. Halion is Steinberg's groundbreaking desktop software that provides professional composers with state-of-the-art instruments, effects, 6 different forms of synthesis, time stretch, a high-performance sample engine and more. Whilst this in-app purchase doesn't bring the full Halion engine to the mobile platform, I think to have these sounds come to iOS and Android means that Steinberg are very serious about the future development of Cubasis 3. These instruments do sound incredible. Like we've seen in Neo FM, each of these sounds comes with 8 tweakable parameters that change to suit each individual sound, and over on the global tab we can adjust octave, pitch by semitone or by tiny increments, and pitch bend settings, polyphony, and we can switch the instrument to mono. With so many beautiful sounds to choose from, it's hard to know what to choose to demo. The drum kits for a start are spectacular. Let's just have a listen to a few sounds on offer. Now these sounds, these new instruments are amazing. They sound fabulous, they're top-notch stuff, well worthy of finding their way into a professional recording. And it's really, really exciting that Steinberg have decided that now is the time to bring quality Halion instruments to Cubasis 3. It makes me feel that they're very serious about the future development of the app, because people have been questioning, it's been a long time since the Cubasis 3 update. Is it dead in the water? A lot of people were starting to think so. It occurs to me that this update is going to be amazing for Android users, because on Android is still in the dark ages. There's no third-party plugins. AV3 doesn't exist. If you're using a digital audio workstation on Android, you are stuck with the stock sounds, which, as we know in Cubasis 3, other than Microlog, which is an absolutely stunning synth, the stock sounds are okay, maybe not worthy of a professional recording though. But on iOS that's fine, because all of us have got loads and loads of AV3s, and so we just use those. You can use the stock sounds for like writing with, but then you replace those sounds with great plugins. On Android you cannot do that, but now they'll be able to download these incredible sounds and finish a professional sounding recording, just as long as you don't need to record in any real audio. But that's another video. Now, it's very difficult for me to say anything critical about Steinberg. I'm a huge Cubase fanboy. I've been using it since the dawn of time, since Atari ST days when dinosaurs walked the earth. Yes, I am that old. Thank you. But I think I do actually look it these days. But anyway, right, so I'm still running Cubase as my preferred DAW on desktop. I'm using Cubase 13 Pro, and I'm a massive Cubasis 3 fanboy. If you watch this channel, you know that. I feel terrible saying anything negative about Steinberg, but it's my nature to be open and honest. And truthfully, I was disappointed by this update. I do love these sounds, I do. They're amazing, but there's a very popular set of feature requests that have been around since Cubasis 2 days, and they've still not been implemented. We need a tempo track, the ability to change tempo or time signature partway through a track. We need mono mixdown or freeze. This actually prevents me from using Cubasis 3 or any other iOS DAW actually to do my work. I can't do a guitar session or a bass session and send it to a producer as a dual mono file, right? It's just not professional. We need a search bar for when you're looking through your vast amount of AV3s. Sorry, Android users. We need a drum editor, and we need a much better sampler. Now, these requests have been around forever, and it feels like when Steinberg give us an update, they always bring us a solid update, but they ignore these most popular requests. And I don't understand why. Things changed quite drastically this year. Earlier this year, Logic Pro for iPad came out, and it's a subscription model, and that's a dirty word, I know, but it has a fabulously implemented tempo track. It has an incredible mixing desk, and when you deep dive those menus, there's some great features that Cubasis 3 simply doesn't have, although it does have plenty of advantages over Logic Pro for iPad. It's a shame you can't bolt the two together, really. But I think that what may have happened here is Steinberg have possibly looked at Logic Pro for iPad and seen that it comes with a vast quantity of really high quality sounds. You could use Logic Pro for iPad and finish a professional sounding recording and not have to use any plugins whatsoever. And Cubasis 3 cannot boast that. But with these in-app purchases, now it can. These are extreme quality sounds. So I think that might be the idea of bringing the Halion sounds to Cubasis 3 now. But if anybody from Steinberg is watching this video, I have to say to you, we need these most popular feature requests. We need them implementing, and we need them soon, because if you check out the forums for mobile production, on Facebook and across the internet, people are leaving Cubasis 3 in droves. They are fleeing the ship. They're going to Logic Pro for iPad. And it's such a shame, because in many ways I feel like Cubasis 3 is the superior DAW. It just needs those few things implementing. So please, Steinberg, let's have them soon, eh? So anyway, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about this update? How do you feel about Cubasis 3 versus Logic Pro for iPad and any other mobile DAW? And what are you currently using? What are you loving about recording on a mobile platform, and what are you not? And you know what? What other things do we need bringing to the platform? I would love to hear from you, and you can rest assured I always reply. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. If I've rambled on a bit at the end, I do not apologise. Make lots of music, take care of yourself, and try not to piss your pants about. I'll see you later.